What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Shaq's Corner. It's your boy Shaq. You know what time it is. Opinion time, and this could be a very unpopular opinion, but like I said in the intro, I don't care. I'm gonna talk about James Harden tonight. Listen, I know James Harden is arguably top 10 player in the NBA on paper. Uh, to somebody like me who loves the game of basketball and is a basketball purist, I don't rank him that high. I just don't. Uh, he's very skilled, very talented. However, I'm not for the antics. What he did in Houston before getting traded, showing up out of shape, fighting with teammates in practice, which, granted, you're adults, you get paid a lot of money, it's going to happen. You feel like somebody's testing you, I get it. But if you're just coming in there just to cause problems just so you can get traded, I look at you a little bit funny as far as your commitment and your love for the thing that you're doing currently. That helped you become this global superstar. Whatever, that happened. He ends up in Brooklyn. Psh, yo, big three all over again. Everybody's going crazy. This trade happens. As soon as James Harden gets in Brooklyn, everybody goes, championship contender, championship contender. Oh, champions, 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 champions. I said as soon as he got there, they wasn't winning the championship. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I don't see it. The pedigree that they have there as far as champions is concerned is KD. And now Patty Mills. But, I mean, Kyrie has one with Braun. But what else is there? Kevin Durant never won one on his own. Kyrie never won one on his own. So, who's teaching James Harden how to win a championship? Those two guys had to be taught. It is what it is. Otherworldly talented players, not going to take anything away from them. However, they did not do it on their own. They went somewhere or had somebody come to them to show them how to get over that mountaintop. For Kyrie, it was when Braun came back to Cleveland. Can't take a ring away from him. He hit the shot on Steph, got it. But before Braun came back, Cleveland was picking in the lottery. So he can average 30 all he wants to, but if you're not winning games, it don't matter. KD was up 3-1, I believe it was, to Golden State. And we all know how that ended up. And right after that, he was like, Russ don't want to give me the ball. Okay. Hey, Dre, you guys got a roster spot for me? I'm out. Oklahoma's not really it, so I'm going to come out to Oakland. Yeah, so that's how that turned out. 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs. I get it. Otherworldly talented. However, you had to go to Golden State to win. Say what you want. He could have been the most dominant player in that final series against the Cavs, which is true. He hit the shots on Braun, the whole nine. I respect it. But at the end of the day, he still needed to learn how to get over the mountaintop. Who taught him? Steph. That's just what it is. What it is. I'm being real. So obviously, that being said, James Harden wasn't going to learn from these guys how to be a champion. He also wasn't going to learn from these guys how to be a professional. Call it what it is. KD got burner Twitter accounts. He can't deal with criticism. I get it. Some people have thicker skin than others. Kyrie is Kyrie. I respect all of his decisions politically, and all the other things that he makes. But at the end of the day, Kyrie's not teaching him about professionalism. No disrespect to him. So, coming into this season, everything going on with the vaccine stuff, and before you guys even go down the rabbit hole in the comments, this is not the place to talk about your views on the vaccine. Don't ask me about my views on the vaccine. I don't care. It is your choice to do whatever the hell you want to do with your body. This is not the forum for that. I'm talking hoops. Don't bring it here, please. Thank you. I continue. Comes in this season, Kyrie's missing every game. Brooklyn's losing. KD gets hurt. It's James Harden trying to come in with this ragtag group of guys, and he's going to carry them till KD comes back or until the city of New York changes the mandate and Kyrie can play in games again. And after a while, Brooklyn is, they're winning. They're, mid-tier. And then they start losing and they go down in the standings. And then the Nets go, oh, shucks. How are we going to figure this out? Hey, Kyrie, you know what? I know we said that you weren't going to play because we're not having a part-time player. But can you be a part-time player, please? So Kyrie comes back. He's playing half the games. He can only play away games. He can't play any home games. So Brooklyn starts, they start climbing back up in the standings. Great. Everything's good. KD comes back. James Harden gets hurt. James Harden comes back. KD is hurt. Kyrie can't play. So James Harden is shouldering the load mostly. So I don't even know how many games these guys played together. I'll be honest with you. I think it was like 14 or maybe 17. Okay, they're like 13-3 or 14-3 when they play together. They've been together for almost two full seasons. I'm just saying. It don't make sense. As somebody funny once said to me, the math ain't mathin'. That's just what it is. But I digress. We fast forward, getting closer towards the trade deadline. James Harden starting to look a little bit more pudgy, if you will. And speaking as somebody from the larger community, pudgy is not a diss to anybody. I'm on the larger side, so you guys know, if you couldn't tell by my full face. But he shows up. It starts looking like he's not playing as hard. These are things that, if you love basketball and you watch the game and you're not a fair weather fan, if you're a real fan of the game, you pick up on these things. You see these things. His last game for the Nets was against the Kings. Now, I'm not going to disrespect the whole franchise, but I'm sorry. The Kings are who the Kings are. James Harden finished with 4 points. I can't remember how many shots he took, but I think it was like less than 9. And 2 of his points came from the free throw line. And he shot 4 free throws. Now, I understand everybody has a bad game. I get that. I wholeheartedly understand and get that. Not everybody's going to be a superstar every game. Everybody has a bad game. But we all know James Harden bad games. James Harden will go 6 for 33. My brother shot 9 shots. He was not trying. And that's just what it is, bro. That's just what it is. Real talk. And then, of course, shortly after that, oh, I don't want to be traded. I'm in Brooklyn. Who told you I was leaving? In the media, trying to play us like we're stupid. Bro, you're doing what you're doing because you want out. Just be real. Why? People would respect your honesty. And it's the lying that kills me. The Nets apparently didn't know he wanted out. And James apparently told them, I don't want out. But then, of course, the trade deadline is creeping up. And out of nowhere, James Harden's in Philly. Ben Simmons is in Brooklyn. Whoa. Everybody's shocked. How did that happen? Woo. Whirlwind event in a matter of a couple of hours. So James Harden is finally in Philly, where he wanted to be with Daryl Morey. Superstar teammate Joel Embiid just completed the scoring title for this season. MVP runner-up last season. Top 2 candidate this season for MVP. And then, of course, Hall of Fame coach Doc Rivers. Amazing. James Harden started off hot. I think he scored like 80-something points in 3 games. Triple-double in a couple of games. But then the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, that efficiency is going down. The turnover is going up. Just the overall gameplay is starting to lapse a little bit, if you will. And one thing I've always noticed about James Harden disappears in the big moments. Playoffs, big games, whatever the case may be, disappears. When he was in Houston with Chris Paul worked his tail off, got Houston a 3-2 lead on Golden State. Chris Paul got hurt. And then those last two, that first game, James Harden was a no-show. He wasn't even there. And then that game 7, Chris Paul tried to come through, but you give that juggernaut in Golden State life, you might as well pack it up and go fishing. So, all of that being said, Back to the Future, everybody's talking about how Philly's definitely winning a championship. This is their best opportunity this year. James Harden, Joel Embiid is definitely a formidable dynamic duo. One of the best ones we've seen in a little while. That pick and roll is deadly. And then with Joel Embiid's ability to stretch the floor, that takes it to another level. And obviously James Harden's finishing ability with his knack for drawing fouls, if you will. Or, as I like to say, you grab a hold of somebody's arm and you throw yourself up like you're shooting a ball and the ref will call you the foul. Whatever. Is it petty that I said that? I don't care. But that's what it is. However, Philly's best chance to win the title is this season. And let me tell you why. James Harden is due to get a max extension of $240 million. Joel Embiid's contract extension is already going on. And eventually they're going to rework that contract to give him more money. That's what's going to happen. Well, you sign these two guys, that's probably going to be north of $500 million on your payroll. I don't know what the new luxury tax is in the NBA, but I think Philly would be close to passing it if they don't pass it with just those two guys alone. Who are they signing as supporting players with those two? Because with those two is great, but if the supporting cast is a bunch of guys that you can only get because they're taking less than vet minimums, is that a great team? Just because you have two good players? I don't think so. So I think this trade, while Philly got instantly better by adding James Harden, is very much a double-sided sword. If this doesn't work out and they give him that money, Philly's assed out. They traded players and picks for James Harden. Brooklyn looks like geniuses now. So, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So it's up to everybody's interpretation. So, like I said, it's up for anybody else's interpretation. That's just my take on it. You don't have to agree. You could agree with everything. Or you could have questions. This is an open space. You want to debate with me? That's perfectly fine. You want to send me a question? Perfectly fine. If you just want to comment and share love because you agree with what I said, that's probably my favorite comment. I ain't gonna lie to you. But, nah. All of that being said, that's my take on James Harden. Please like, comment, subscribe. Definitely share. Share the video, share the love. Until next time, this is Shaq, signing off of Shaq's Corner. And like I always say, go sit in the corner.